for production. Now, I am going to share a screen, and today being Wednesday, not sure if we have a lesson tomorrow or until Friday. Um, not sure if we have a lesson tomorrow or until Friday. But in the meantime, I want to believe every one of you have submitted their week one assignments in the Google Classroom. I was going through, I was checking, and I found out two who did late submission, but I have worked on that one, and I'll be sending back the marks. For the week two, the the test, the assignment is, it was ready by Monday, so I suppose you are logged in into your Google Classroom and you are able to attempt the questions. Now, here we go. Materials for production. Materials for production, and we are going to start with the economic resources. Julie Njeri, from your end, I want you to read for us. We want to define the meaning and the types of economic resources available in our environment. Now, for us to understand this strand, we should first of all get the basic definitions. And in this case, we have to start with defining what a resource is. So, Julie, what is a resource?
Resources are all the materials available in our environment which are accessible, economically feasible, and culturally sustainable and help us to satisfy our needs and wants.
Yeah, in simple terms, if somebody asks you to define what a resource is, you simply tell them that resources, these are the materials available in our environment and they can help us satisfy our needs and wants. Yeah, resources, these are all the materials available in our environment. So you say resources, these are all the materials available in our environment. Then from here, when they are available in our environment, what do they do? So you say resources, these are all the materials that are available in our environment, and they help us to satisfy help us to satisfy our needs and wants and help us to satisfy our needs and wants. So, boys and girls, resources are all the materials available in our environment which help us to satisfy our needs and wants. We shall be looking at these needs and wants later on in the strand. Ari, what are economic resources? Ari?
Economic resources are the resources used for carrying out economic activities.
Great, perfect. Economic resources, from the word economically, they are resources used to carry out economic activities. Abigail Mgure, what are some of the examples of classes of economic resources in our environment?
Land,
Land
labor, capital,
and entrepreneurship. Now,
labor,
labor, capital, and entrepreneurship. Great. Now we are saying that economic resources, these are the resources used for carrying out economic activities. Economic resources, these are the resources used for carrying out economic activities. And we are saying the main classes, remember economic resources are grouped into four. We have land as an economic resource, we have labor as an economic resource, we have capital, and we have entrepreneurship. We just finished looking at entrepreneurship as a strand, and we looked at the definition of an entrepreneur. We looked at the definition of a sole entrepreneur. We looked at the definition of entrepreneurship, and we said it is a process of identifying something. Then you come up with solutions, and at the end of the day, you have an aim of making a profit after coming up with the solution to the problems you have identified in the community. So economic resources, they are grouped into land, labor, capital, and entrepreneurship. And remember, economic resources, these are resources used for carrying out economic activities. Now, boys and girls, we have characteristics of economic resources used for production of goods and services. In general, these economic resources, be it land, be it labor, be it capital, be it entrepreneurship, all of them, they have general characteristics, and that is what we are going to look at in a few. David,
Yes.
what is the first characteristic of economic resources?
Uneven distribution. Economic resources are not found in all places.
Good. We are saying that economic resources, they are unevenly distributed or uneven distribution. This one, boys and girls, simply means that they are not found in all the places. You can find land in one place and miss the same land in another place. You can find labor in one place and miss the same labor in another place. You can be having capital in Kakamega and we don't have capital in Kisumu. We can have entrepreneurship in Nakuru, and we don't have entrepreneurship in Kitale. So in other words, characteristics of economic resources, one of them is that they are unevenly distributed. Economic resources are not found in all the places. Number two, Paul Tadane. Characteristics number two, Paul.
Scarcity.
What does that one mean?
Resources are not enough to satisfy all human wants.
Yes, when it comes to scarcity, we say that boys and girls, economic resources normally and naturally, they are scarce. They cannot be able to satisfy all human wants. For example, right now, let's use a very simple example. All of you in this class, we are about 20 plus. Some of you have money, some doesn't have money. That is capital. From the same class, let's talk of entrepreneurship. Some of you have the idea of entrepreneurship, some of you doesn't have at all. So scarce, the issue of scarcity. These resources are not enough to satisfy all human wants. Let's use counties, for example. We have some counties which are very big and very large in Kenya, while we have other counties which are very small in Kenya. Take a county like Mombasa, 001. It is the smallest county in Kenya. Then we have the biggest, the largest. Which one is the largest county in Kenya? Zanda. Zanda?
Yes.
Which one is the largest county in Kenya? Yes, Nadine. Nadine Fadila?
Marsabit.
Marsabit. Now, if you take the resources in Marsabit County and compare the resources in Mombasa County, you will find there is a very big difference. Like, for example, land in Marsabit is very big. We have large pieces and large tracts of land in Marsabit as compared to Mombasa. So these economic resources, boys and girls, we are saying they are scarce. They are not enough to satisfy all the human wants. Now, economic resources have alternative uses. Economic resources have alternative uses. That is another characteristic. Economic resources have alternative uses. Let's use, for example, land. What are some of the uses of land you know of? James Oduor?
Pardon?
What are some of the uses of land you can mention?
The uses of land.
Yes, as an economic resource for production.
We can use land for farming.
Yeah, you can use land for farming. Good. Ari, I can see your hand. You want to add on something?
Yes, some pieces of land have minerals.
Yeah, some pieces of land have mineral resources and therefore they can be used for mining. Good. Any other use of land? Shannon, Mira, you have something? Shannon?
Yes.
We are talking about the uses of land. Remember, we are looking at the characteristics of economic resources used for production of goods and services. And we said that economic resources are grouped into four. We have land as a source of production, we have labor, we have capital, and we have entrepreneurship. One of their characteristics, all of them, is that we are saying economic resources have alternative uses. In other words, they have more than one use. So we are looking at the uses of land specifically. Shannon, any idea?
Land cannot be moved.
Okay, land cannot be moved. Hold on a bit, Shannon. Vela, you have something to say about uses of land? Vela?
Yes.
Uses of land? Now, David? David, uses of land?
They can be used for farming.
Mm-hmm.
They provide us with shade.
With shade. Who is that saying they provide us with shade? Okay, for farming. You can say that some pieces of land can be turned into what we call large-scale farming, and in this case, you can be farming dairy farming, the keeping of livestock for milk. You can also turn some pieces of land into what we call beef farming. You see, animals kept for beef. You can still do what we call fish farming in the same land. Remember, you can stock, you can construct, you can come up with the various sources of fish ponds, and from these ponds you can start rearing and keeping fish, and that one becomes a use of land under fish farming. Now, let's move to the next characteristic. We are saying that usefulness. Shannon, Mira, what about usefulness as a characteristic of economic resources? Shannon?
Yes.
What do you have to say about usefulness?
I don't have anything to say.
From your screen, what can you read? We are here.
Oh.
Pay attention, Shannon.
Economic resources have utility and they are useful.
And concentrate. That's why I said everybody's video should be on, because I want to see who is where doing what. Yes, usefulness, economic resources have utility and they are useful. Charlene Bet, I can see your hand. Please take us through the next characteristic.
Mobility. They can be transported from one place to another.
Yes, some of these economic resources, they have mobility. Mobility from the word mobile. Mobile to mean can move from one place to another. Now, some of these economic resources, they can be transported from one place to another. Let's take, for example, a capital. You can have money in Nairobi. You move with the same money and travel with this to Mombasa. You move and travel to Kisumu. You come back to Kajiado. You go to Northeastern. You see, you are moving around with capital as a source of economic production. And in this case, we say that it's mobile. It has mobility. Let's get another example, entrepreneurship. You can be doing business of selling maybe boutique. You have a boutique. You do importing and exporting of all outwears, be it for female, be it for male, be it for children. So this cloth, you can go with them, sell in Nairobi, take them, go sell in Kisumu, take them, go sell in Eldoret, go sell in Kakamega. You see, this one is mobility. They are mobile. Now, the next one, I can see David, your hand is up. You want to say something, David?
I wanted to read the next point.
Yes, please go on, read.
Combinability.
What does
Economic resources can be combined to to produce different goods and services.
yes, we are saying economic resources have compatibility or combinability. Economic resources have what we call combinability from the word combine, and this one simply means they can be combined to produce different goods and services. Combinability. Get the spellings correct so that you don't confuse and write your own things. The next one, Vela. The next characteristic, Vela.
Combinability.
No.
Economic-
Vela, pay attention. Pay attention and concentrate. We already done with combinability. So what is next? Vela,
Yes.
what is next?
Monetary.
We're waiting on you, Vela. David, assist her. David?
Monetary value.
Yes.
Economic resources
Go on. Economic resources.
are measured in terms of money. Therefore, they have monetary value.
Yeah, in short, all the economic resources have monetary value because they are measured in terms of money. For example, I have a piece of land. Let's say it is measuring 50 by 100. And you have seen people do sales in lands, especially these people who are into real estates, these people who buy and sell houses, they buy and sell lands. You will hear them tell you, we have a very nice piece of land, 100 by 100 in Isinya near Kajiado, and we are only asking for 1.8 million. You see, they are attaching the value of that land. They are attaching the value of that land to monetary value. So we are saying economic resources, they have monetary value. Then lastly, James Oduor, what is the last characteristics? Oduor? Unmute yourself, Oduor. Unmute.
They can change ownership.
Yeah, they can change ownership. Now, what do we mean by changing ownership? What do we mean? David, undo that, undo the circling. David?
It can't.
No, it can. Just go where you used. Yes, like that. There is another one. You have left it on my edge.
That wasn't me.
Who was that? Yes, good. Anytime you do a change here, make sure you are undoing it and going back to factory settings. Otherwise, I will restrict you. You will not be able to do anything. Now, we are saying that the last characteristic of economic resources, be it land, be it capital, be it entrepreneurship, be it labor, they can change ownership. How do we mean? For example, I have a land in Isinya and I am relocating to Kajiado. I can sell that land to somebody else together with the title deed, and I change the names from my name to whoever is buying that land. You see, we have changed ownership. I had 2,000 shillings. Somebody borrowed me money. I gave them. You see, so the money will no longer be mine, but will now be belonging to whoever I have loaned the money. So, all characteristics that they can change ownership. We have things like labor. You see, we had people working for you in a company in Nairobi. Then you relocated to the States. You see, you had to sell your company. Now, when you sold your company, it means the labor is also going to change. If it was Nike, for example, and Nike have sold all their assets to Adidas, all the laborers, all the people who used to work for Nike, they will now become Adidas workers. So you see, the labor as a source of economic production, it has changed ownership from Nike to Adidas. So economic resources can change ownership. Economic resources can change ownership. Now, let's take 2 minutes to digest that, the characteristics of economic resources as used for production of goods and services. If you have any question, please let me know. If there is somewhere you are not understanding, please keep me posted so that we can be on the same page. And in the meantime, you should also go back and review the categories of or the classes of economic resources. We said they are divided into 4. We have land, we have labor, capital, and entrepreneurship. So those are the classes of economic resources. You should also know the definition of economic resources. When somebody asks you to define economic resource, what will you tell them? Amina, I've seen your hand. You want to say something, Amina?
No, it was just by mistake. Huh?
Okay. Remember, we are scanning. Paul, are we on the same page? Paul?
Yes.
Are we together?
Yes.
Alan, are we on the same page?
Yeah. Yes.
Kapala?
Yes.
James, are we on the same page? Odur?
Yes. Yes.
Mugure, you have disappeared. Where have you gone to? Gure, come back. Mugure? Shalin Bet,
Yes.
are we on the same page?
Yes.
Laura, are you done? Laura?
Yes.
Great. So we can confidently move to the next part. And here, I want us to look at what we call classification and types. Classification and types. Classification and types of economic resources in Kenya. Don't confuse, boys and girls. We have classification and we have classes of economic resources. The main classes of economic resources, we have land, labor, capital and entrepreneurship. Then we have the classification. How do we classify these economic resources? And what are the types of economic resources in Kenya? So that is what I want us to look at. And to start us off, Kapala, read the first line, Kapala.
There are example types of economic resources in Kenya. They include mountains, minerals, machineries, land, information, sunshine, rainwater, lakes, rivers, oceans, etc.
we are saying there are example types of economic resources in Kenya. There are example types of economic resources in Kenya. And these example types, they include, we have mountains, we have minerals, we have machineries, we have land, information, sunshine, rainwater, lakes, rivers, oceans, etc., etc. Now, there are three types of economic resources. Let's move one step at a time. We have said there are example types. Then we are saying there are three types. Now, these three types of economic resources, we have what we call human-made resources. We have human-made resources. Then we have natural resources. I don't want to leave anybody behind, because here many students get confused. You have been asked to give the three types of economic resources. Just name the three types. We have human-made resources, we have natural resources, and we have human economic resources. Those are the three types. But we have the example types. Let's say, for example, we are looking at human-made resources. What are the examples of human-made resources? Let's give an example of like a dam. You see, a dam is a resource that has been constructed by human beings. But we have natural resources, things like mountain, lakes, rivers. They exist naturally. Nobody made them. So you should get the difference very correctly. Now, starting with human-made economic resources, human-made, things that are made by human beings. Remember, that one is also a resource, and it has got to do with human beings. You took part in the creation of these resources. That's why we are referring to them as human-made economic resources. They are created by human beings through various productive activities. Now, examples of human-made economic resources. We have tarmac roads, we have books. The books you are using in school, that one is an economic resource made by human beings. We have machineries. Let's take, for example, we are in an online class right now, and in one way or another, nobody is able to see one another physically. We are connecting remotely in a virtual room. This virtual room has been made possible through the use of various machineries and gadgets. And this includes, we have the headphones, we have the computers, we have the laptops, we have data, we have earphones. You see, all these are machinery made by human beings, and therefore they fall under the category of human-made economic resources. We have dam as a human-made economic resource. We have watch. Nowadays, your swag is the smartwatch. If you don't have a smartwatch, you feel like, you have not arrived. You must get one. At least you have an Oraimo smartwatch. Which other smartwatch do you have, Abigail?
An Apple.
Apple smartwatch, nice. Charlene Bet, another one. Yes, David.
Samsung smartwatch.
So you see, all these are human-made economic resources, and they have been made by human beings so that they can assist to make the lives of human beings more interesting and more comfortable. Now, let's move to natural economic resources. Natural. These ones, they exist naturally by nature. Whether you like it or not, we were born, we found them there, we shall still leave them there. They were there since time immemorial. In the beginning, they were just there. We call them natural economic resources, and they include things like Mountains. Njeri Munga, give me an example of a mountain in Kenya.
Mount Kenya.
Mount Kenya, nah, nice. Shannon, give me an example of a river in Kenya.
River Tana.
River Tana, great. Laura, give me an example of a lake in Kenya. Laura?
Lake Victoria.
Lake Victoria. Nadine, Fadila, give me an example of natural forest in Kenya. Mau Forest.
Karura Forest.
Karura Forest. Kakamega Forest. So you see, these things, whether we like it or not, they are beyond our power and control. There is nothing we can do about their existence. They exist naturally. We refer to them as natural economic resources. Natural economic resources. Remember, we have said that we have 3 types of economic resources in Kenya, and these resources are human-made economic resources. We have looked at examples. We have said we also have natural economic resources. And lastly, number 3, boys and girls, we have what we call human economic resources. Human economic resources. Now, I want you to get one thing right here. Don't at any given time confuse between human economic resource and human-made economic resources. These are 2 different things. Now, when it comes to human-made economic resources, these are things made by human beings to assist us and make our life comfortable and interesting. Things like the machines, the books, the tarmac roads, railway line, like the SGR is another example of human-made economic resource. Now, the expressway, that one is an example of a human-made economic resource. But now we have this one, human economic resources. Human economic resources. These ones, they are also referred to as labor or people who provide human services. So anytime you come across, give 2 examples of human economic resources, just know these are the people or these are the labor. Human beings who provide human services. We have so many examples. We have teachers, drivers, painters, nurses, doctors, chefs, any human being who provide human service. We call those ones human economic resource. Are we together, Zanda?
Yes.
Zanda, what have I said?
Not human.
What have I said, Zanda?
We are talking about human economic resources.
David, what have I said about human economic resources?
They are also referred to as labor or people who provide human services.
Human services. Shannon Mira, what did we say that are examples of human economic resources? Shannon?
Teachers, drivers, painters, nurses.
Yeah, painters and nurses. Painters and nurses. Please, I am repeating. Don't confuse what we call classification and types of economic resources in Kenya with what we refer to as classes of economic resources. The main classes of economic resources are 4: land, labor, capital, entrepreneurship. Those are the main classes of economic resources. Now, the classification and types of economic resources in Kenya, we have 3. We have human-made economic resources, we have natural resources, and we have human resources. Don't confuse the 3. Human economic resources, these are the labor, the people who provide services like teachers, drivers, painters. These are human economic resources. Then we have natural economic resources. They exist naturally, whether you like it or not. Things like mountains, rivers, lakes, wind, sun, natural forest, moon, stars, clouds. the things that we found them existing in the atmosphere. With or without our powers, they exist naturally. Those ones are natural economic resources. And then we have what we call human-made economic resources. They are resources that are created by human beings through various productive activities. 2 minutes, let that one sink. Let that one sink, unless somebody has a question. Kapala?
No.
Great. So, in parting shot, to wrap up the lesson, we have started with the materials for production, and we were looking at the meaning and types of economic resources. So we have defined resources, and we said these are all the materials available in our environment, and they help us to satisfy our needs and wants. We went ahead and defined economic resources, and we said that economic resources, they are the resources used for carrying out economic activities. Such economic resources include land, labor, capital, entrepreneurship. These are the 4 main classes of economic resources. From there, we discussed on the characteristics of economic resources used for production of goods and services. We said they are uneven distribution. They cannot be found everywhere. They are scarcity. They cannot be enough for everybody. They have alternative uses. They can be used for various other things. We gave an example of a land. It can be used for farming. It can be used for fishing. It can be used for tea growing, etc., etc. We said they are useful, all of them. We said characteristic of economic resources, they have mobility. In other words, they can be transported from one place to another. They have combinability aspect, meaning they can be combined to produce different goods and services. They have monetary value. All of them are attached to money. And lastly, they can change ownership. They can change ownership. Then we lastly looked at classification and types of economic resources in Kenya. We have said we have 3. We have human-made resources, natural economic, and human economic resources. Anybody with a question? You need clarification? Laura?
No?
Wambua? Adiela?
No.
Great, great. Paul, are you on the same page with the teacher?
Yes.
Amina, are we together?
Yes.
Great. There being no questions, boys and girls, allow me wish you a good afternoon. Check into your Google Classroom. If you have not submitted your assignment, please do so. I'll be marking, and by the end of the day, you will have your results back. Let me see. Somebody has sent me a chat here. Oh, that is Ari the Miles. Ari, good afternoon and bye-bye. You all have a good afternoon. Bye.
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 Bye-bye.
Good afternoon.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye.